This BetRivers 200 Betting Picks 2025 edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to a $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code RACE SGPN.
Drivers, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
And welcome into another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez, and we are here today to speak to you about the Xfinity race that most books will not even name. However, we will. It's the BetRivers 200 from the Dover Motor Speedway in Dover, Delaware. Cody, the Monster Mile, the track is not too tough to tame, but it's pretty damn tough. But yeah, definitely fun, and we're here to talk Xfinity.
Yes, it might be listed on your book, Rod, as the Dover 200 because these books are very petty, but whatever. Hey, we love to see it. So it's a betting sponsor on NASCAR, which of course we love and love to continue to see. We're glad it keeps coming back. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And boy, we've got a loaded field of drivers in this race, Rod. This is going to be a fun race to talk.
Yeah, there are going to be, well, obviously a ton of cup names that are coming down for this as well. But in the Xfinity Series already, if you look through the last few seasons, obviously they've been coming to this for a long time, this track for a very long time. And even this week now, there's just so many cup drivers in there but yet, Cody, it hasn't made the odds in our favor.
Yeah, the selection this week is interesting. I guess we could roll with. Still no Xfinity top 10s. I thought maybe super speedway road courses. That's why they didn't have them the last couple of weeks, but they still don't exist so far this week. I mean, we'll hold out hope that they show up later this week, but I'm hoping that they have not already pulled the plug on that. You couldn't blame them too much because it worked out pretty well for us when they did have them, but come on, give the people what they want, what the people they have been asking for. And I know we've been betting plenty on it. And yes, as Ash points out, they're still scared to offer the top 10s. Yeah, other than that, I mean, we kind of had this discussion earlier in the day, but it's just not a lot of options out there, I guess, is sort of the other issue. Like, I think there's 4 head-to-heads available across multiple books. Maybe there was 5. We're going to talk about 2 of them, but then you got your positionals. I think there was 1 or 2 groups out there and no other prop bets. So interesting lack of selection, I guess, this week, which is unfortunate, but that doesn't stop us, Rod, because of course we dug through some stuff, found some stuff we like. Some of it's chalkier, some of it's long shots, like usual, and we're gonna have fun with it.
Yeah, again, I hit this last night when they just started to come out with numbers, and I was like, okay, this is great. And then, of course, as the day went on, they started to add top 3s, top 5s, and that was all fine and well. But I knew the drivers that I was targeting last night when I came into it, and I put them in the dock. And then I was going, one of them we'll talk about in a second because I had his number in there. At least I had his finishing position that I wanted in there. And then I looked at the number and I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to do that. So had to find a different way to get in on him. But yeah, Cody, like you said, we found ways to get in as we always do. It's just not quite as sexy as it usually is.
Yeah, you can't be giving the books a look ahead, Rod. You put in the doc. They obviously got into the doc and saw it and outpriced it, unfortunately. But JC checking in says, we the people want freedom and lower prices on chickens. Yes, top 10s in Xfinity, lower prices on chickens. I mean, is there much more to ask for, Rod?
I don't think so. I want lower prices on my chickens and top 10s in Xfinity. It's a chicken in every pot, right? That's all we ever ask for in this instance. But look, so we're gonna have a lot of fun still talking about Xfinity. Like we said, it's a loaded field, and chat's already checking in. But before I get to that, I want to tell you that you can get every single thing you want in the SGPN world. Just download our app, right? Or you can also find it wherever you get your podcasts as well, and wherever you get your apps. So there's tons to pick from. There's horse racing, there's soccer, there's MMA, there's just whatever your heart desires. It's out there for you on that app. So make sure you get there and download it. Ash checking in saying, evening lads, can't wait for SVG versus Zillage Part 3 at Watkins Glen in August. Yeah, Ash, that was definitely a great duke out, and we'll see that again, right? So looking forward to that. Impulse saying, oh, a new intro. Impulse, when's the last time you watched? We've had this one for a very long while.
This intro, well, debuted at the Daytona 500, so just all season, but you know.
That's all right. Hey, listen, we're happy you're here, and we're glad that. I mean, look, there's people that download this, right, and just don't ever see it on YouTube. So,
well, yeah, and that's the thing is, I think, yeah, if you've not watched it, maybe you didn't notice that we changed it up. So.
Yes, indeed. Cody saying that he's hyped that he made it here for the live show. Very hyped that you're here too. Cody, good name, yeah, Cody.
I love it.
All right. Well, then let's start turning our attention to this particular. Actually, you know what? First and foremost, there was there a little bit of news that happened.
Was there news, Rod? I have no idea.
Well,
I literally walked in the door like 5 minutes ago. It's been a hell of a day, and
I do know that the Legacy Motor Club Rick Ware fight is continuing because of all of that charter stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I just Jimmy and them were talking like they were going to be talking this week about it, and I guess Bob Pockris is starting to put some stuff out about that. That little thing that's got going on. And, listen, I hope Jimmy comes up on top of it.
Yeah, I've got it here. So Bob says Legacy was suing Rick Ware Racing over a deal to purchase the Rick Ware Racing charter. Which charter and if sale? Well, boy, okay. Which charter and if it's for sale, I guess is what that's supposed to say, for 2026 or 2027 is disputed. They are suing TJ Puncher, who now plans to buy Rick Ware Racing, for tortuous interference of contract, I guess. Puncher is a former Spire co-owner who brokered the Legacy Rick Ware Racing deal. I'm so confused by all this. So we knew TJ Puncher left Spire, right? He helped left there, and then I guess according to this, it looks like he helped broker the deal between Legacy and Rick Ware to buy the charter. But then, as we noted a couple of weeks ago, he agreed to buy Rick Ware Racing and keep Cody Ware in the 51 car. Hey, this is what a fuck boy. NASCAR is just in some there's a bunch of legal messes going on all over right now, Rod. I don't know if is that a good thing? Everybody cares so much and wants these charters so bad, or what the fuck's going on?
I just think lawsuits are the law of the day today. Everybody wants to sue everybody. And I get it. Because
we do live in a very litigious world.
Yes. Oh, look at you. Nice pull there.
There's my big word of the day. I'll take it out the rest off the air. See you later.
Well, if Preston likes big words, then he's definitely going to love this, because he said he's just ate himself to the verge of a food coma, help keep him awake with winners. How about with just big words? How's that? We'll take that one as well. But anyways, that's pretty much it. I mean, look, everybody's suing everybody in NASCAR. I just hope that Jimmy gets his way. I feel like Rick Ware did him dirty.
This whole thing is super interesting. I don't Yeah, I never really understood all of it, because if there is an agreement, whether it's for 26 or 27, which is what's being disputed in that lawsuit, when they sold the team, did they just sell the one charter they had left, or what? I don't. Yeah, I'm very confused by all that and what's going on. So, yeah, this is going to make silly season even more interesting, because if you think about it, Legacy could potentially be. We talk about there's not a lot of rides out there right now, but what if Legacy Motor Club adds another ride next year? Like, we've seen what they've done with 2 teams. It's been a upgraded program, right? We've talked about them a lot. We talked about them again yesterday. Do they, are they suddenly in the running for a Daniel Suarez type driver, or does Toyota use that ride to maneuver things to get Corey Heim into the Cup Series, right? Is there partnerships brokered there to get him either with Legacy in waiting for a 2311 car, or does 2311 farm out O'Reilly Herbst over there and bring him? Like, who knows? I know that they don't work as closely with Gibbs and 2311 as Gibbs and 2311 do with each other. But yeah, it big dominoes, of course, and that's shit. Does 2311 even have any charters rod anymore? Who knows?
or does Dodge make its triumphant return in the Truck Series and then say, "Hey, Legacy, how about we get a little bit of sexiness over here in Dodge?"
It's not, I think that they're probably one of the top candidates. I think that, honestly, I think Spire is probably the top of the top. I see them jumping ship first because I think they want to be a top dog. RFK is also interesting, but Legacy, Trackhouse, even maybe a little bit, all very interesting potential Dodge teams, as Dodge, is going to re-enter the Truck Series next year, assuming they find a team to re-enter with, because we still don't have any news on that. But assuming that they do, and then they come into the Cup Series in 27 or 28, they're going to need a team or multiple teams. So a lot of dominoes out there to fall, Rod, and the landscape of NASCAR could look a lot different in 2026.
And I'm here for it. Actually, we're all here for it, right? This is a silly season that I think we all want and we all need, especially after everything's going on. But today, we turn our attention to the Xfinity Series and to the BetRivers 200 BetRivers Sportsbook on checking in, saying, let's go. BetRivers, yes, let's go. This is your race.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, this is your race. Yeah, the BetRivers 200, of course. And as we mentioned earlier, shout out to them for sponsoring a race. You love to see it and continuing to grow gambling.
That was perfect timing, because I literally was just about to set up the race. So good job, BetRivers, on this one. Yes, so it is. We are set for right on cue. Yes, it's as if you knew, BetRivers. We are set for 200 laps around this 1 mile paved track for 200 miles of just chocolatey goodness here in the BetRivers 200. Cody, like we said, this is a very, very packed field this week.
Yeah, is this an Xfinity race or is this a Cup race, Rod? Because when you look at the entry list, 40 entries, 38 spots, the 2 drivers will go home. Ross Chastain is going to jump in the number 9 car. Of course, we've seen that car have a lot of success the last couple of weeks with SVG behind the wheel. The number 17 car returns for Hendrick Motorsports. And this time, Rod, James Finch Jr., a.k.a. Jake Finch. I don't know how you get Jake out of James, but, it's neither here nor there. Is going to be driving that. If you're a longtime NASCAR fan, you'll definitely recognize the name James Finch, longtime owner in the Cup Series, had a lot of teams throughout time. Now his son, James Finch Jr., a.k.a. Jake Finch, is how he's listed on the entry list. But he'll be in the 17 car for Hendrick Motorsports, so interesting to keep an eye on. I don't know that he's made any National Series starts that I know of. So, first start in the Xfinity in the 17 car. Hell yeah, for Hendrick. That's not a bad way to do it. So you have to keep your eye on him for sure. Eric Almirola, he's making his return. He's going to be in the number 19 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. Ryan Truex, Rod, he's going to be in the 24 car. So this is worth noting because he has been hella good here. But that was in a JGR car. He's in a Sam Hunt racing car this time in the 24. So just keep that in the back of your mind. We've got plenty of Truex talk coming up on the show. So you will want to listen to that because we'll address that. But just remember that he's in the Sam Hunt car, not the Joe Gibbs Racing car, which is a bit sad and unfortunate. Why is William Swalwich still in the car? Oh, William Swalwich is great. I forgot. He had a top 3 finish last week, Rod. So props to him for that. Hopefully you can fade him later this week. BetRivers, give us some head-to-head match. I don't really care who it is. Give me some head-to-head matchups against William Swalwich so I can just bet the other side, please. I would love that. And then Raja Karuth is going to make another start here in the Xfinity Series. Kind of surprising not to see him in the 17 car, but he is going to be in the number 32 car for Jordan Anderson Racing. So yeah, that rounds out a pretty loaded entry list for the Xfinity
Yeah, it is
Series
a little bit strange to not see Raja in the 17. Like it only makes sense that the HendrickCars.com car should be the HendrickCars.com truck driver.
Yeah, and he's actually DC events this week, or events DC, I guess. So not even with the Hendrick backing for this week. I don't think that raises any alarms. I'm guessing he just had a chance to put together a deal. The 17 car obviously was taken for and paid for this week. So actually, is the 17 car? I wonder. Let's see. Is that going to be the HendrickCars.com? It is. So
It is.
I don't know. I wonder how that works. If you're buying that seat, but HendrickCars.com is always a sponsor. Who knows? That's above my head.
I only talk about the cars when they're on the track. I don't get behind the scenes like I probably should. But, yeah, lots of fun to be had at the Dover Motor Speedway in Dover, Delaware, and we will get to all of our favorite bets for this race. But first, allow me to tell you about our friends over at Circa. Think you know ball? If you're listening to this podcast, you probably do know ball. Well, then you got a chance to prove that as you enter Circa's football contest with $21 million in guaranteed prizes. No rake. So if entries go above that guarantee, all that money is going to be funneled back into the prize pool. Who doesn't want that to happen? Circa Million, you got to pick 5 teams against the spread each week, or you can go for the ultimate sweat in Circa Survivor. There's even the Circa Grandissimo. That's a $100,000 Survivor contest. You got to enter in person at Circa Sportsbook in Nevada, but hey, let's listen. You've been wanting to and needing to book yourself a trip to Las Vegas for a while now, and this is your excuse, right? Just, hey, listen, babe, I'm telling you right now, got to go to Vegas real quick. Got to enter this contest. You're going to be happy with the outcome. I'm going to be happy with the outcome. We'll all be happy with it. So book that trip and sign up in Nevada. You can play from anywhere too with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com and use promo code SGP to get a $50 off of your proxy fees. Let's talk to you about my friends over at mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every single sport imaginable. I'm telling you right now, they've got so many great sports out there that you're just going to want to go check them all out and have yourself a good old time betting on all those sports. It's got MLB, it's got WNBA, it's got golf, it's got football futures, of course, and MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. You get easy deposit and withdrawal using cryptocurrency because let's face it, who doesn't love them? Some Dogecoin out there and being able to, get your Dogecoins out there and have some fun. All right. Easy deposit, lightning fast payout, like we said, doing that. All right. The Rugby National Rugby League is happening right now. I can say that 3 times fast. And if you can't tell, I'm already over here trying to just completely dance around it to try to pull it up. And we have got all kinds of great stats for them. Let's talk about the ones that I like the most, and that is the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. They are 9.5-point underdogs against the St. George Illawarra Dragons. I'm going to actually take the Dragons and plus 9.5. My bookie's got this at minus 112. St. George, man, they've been able to cover the spread, even though they're 9.5-point or underdogs this week, but they've been able to cover the spread quite a bit. So go find that, take that 9.5 points at minus 112 over on MyBookie and take it to the bank. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Just got done writing an article about that. So I had that at the top of my head, and I wanted to make sure what MyBookie had on that because that's a good number. Go get that. Plus 9.5 for the Dragons.
Tell me no more, Ron. I'll take it.
Just saying. Look at you guys. I just try to get more obscure every single time we click on this. So
it came up in the Discord yesterday that you were talking about. I think it was Rowdy had mentioned he saw a meme that somebody was like, if you're betting on props on the MLB All-Star game, you need to call that number or something. And I'm thinking that's like the most vanilla thing you could possibly bet on. Like, check out what Rod's talking about. That's the real DGen stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you right now, I have somebody to score a try out there too. Like this is serious stuff, kids. And my buddy keeps sending me all of these shorts on Instagram about like these little midget motorcycle racing or like the three-way soccer that came on there. I was like, give me odds. I'll write about it. I don't care. I love this stuff. But
hell yeah.
Anyways, today we're talking Xfinity, and I love that stuff too.
I do love that stuff as well, Rod. All right, we're going to kick it off. I am going to take Taylor Gray over Christian Eckes. You can get this one at -125 over on the Caesars. I am very big on Taylor Gray. I think he's kind of figured things out as we've gone down the stretch here a little bit. Coming off a 7th place run last week. Chicago wasn't kind to him, fine. 5th at Atlanta, 7th at Coda, 19th at Bristol. I would have liked to see a little bit of a better finish there, being that it's a comp track, but that was a little bit back farther in the season when he wasn't, quite clicking. But as you go back through what he's done recently, 2nd at Mexico City, 9th at Pocono, so some good runs. You go back and look at 2nd place at Texas. That's a strong, solid run, things that I like to see. And then for Christian Eckes on the other side of things, it's just been rough lately. We tried betting on him last couple of weeks. He's had some problems. This colleague equipment just kind of continues to shine as it's not that great, right? 34th last week at Sonoma, 15th at Chicago, 19th at Atlanta. He did have a good run at Coda, earlier this season, fine. Bristol was 9th place, so I'll give him a little bit of credit there. 3rd at Pocono, but then like 35th at Nashville, 38th at Texas. These are some of the results. 38th at Miami, higher speed intermediate tracks. Just hasn't run really well at all. And for Gray, the season started out with some rougher finishes, 19th at Vegas, 23rd at Miami, as he was figuring stuff out. But now you're in this elite Joe Gibbs Racing equipment as a rookie, and he's figured some stuff out, right? He's actually got the speed, and he's using it to his advantage. Whereas Christian Eckes, he's had some bright spots, and we know what he's capable of doing as a driver, but the equipment doesn't always keep up with him. It's had plenty of problems, had quite a few DNFs and not finishing these races. The numbers are trending up for Gray. They're trending down for Eckes. So give me Taylor Gray over Christian Eckes at -125.
Yeah, and if anything, Eckes should have been really solid last week too. And to your point about colleague equipment, I mean, it's just been rough. Ever since the 16 left, ever since Allmendinger left, rather, talk about Allgaier in a second, but ever since Allmendinger left, it just feels like there's kind of a void in that, and then they'll pop up here and there and have a great race. But yeah, by and large, I think Taylor's going to have the most upside now that we're back to sort of quote unquote normal tracks, right? A normal oval type track where you don't have to worry about left and right turns. So I like this one as well. Speaking of Allgaier, man, how much does Allgaier need himself a way to turn what's been a pretty rough stretch around, right? He wins at Nashville, and you're thinking, oh man, that reigning champion is back, that he's back to his old form. He's fantastic again. And then he goes and finishes 34th at Mexico City, 10th at Pocono. That's okay. But for Justin Allgaier, like you had said earlier, you kind of want more out of that, right? You want more than a top 10. 31st in Atlanta, 23rd in Chicago. He bounces back for a 6th place at Sonoma. So hopefully Justin Allgaier might be settling into a place where lights out for Justin Allgaier. He has made 24 career starts on this track, going all the way back to 2009. In that span, 16 top 10 finishes. But that's not all. 50% of his finishes on this have been top 5 finishes, right? He's got 2 wins, an average finish of 9.1, 12 of 14. A stretch goes back to 2016, have been inside of the top 10. Last year, he started 3rd and ended up finishing 17th, but he did lead 39 laps in that race. Unfortunately, just could not get it done. And in 2017 was an 11th place finish. Outside of that, when you go back to the 2016 season, top 10 finishes since he joined that 7 team. 4th, 3rd, 11th, 2nd, 1st, 3rd, 2nd, 2nd, 1st, 7th, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, and then 17th. Like, that is a lot of top 3 finishes. That is a lot of top 2 finishes, right? So Justin Allgaier, despite whatever person is in the race, whoever is with him, Cup Series driver, doesn't matter. He's been a guy that has been jockeying for a top 3 spot. All right. I said all that, right? Well, they've got him in a matchup against Ross Chastain. I was going to, and when I initially had the doc out, I was going to have Allgaier as a top 3 car. And then I pulled up the odds. -192 in some spots to be a top 3 car. I'm sorry, but -2 to 1 for top 3. As much as I think that is going to cash, it's just too hard to swallow. It's just too much because one little clip can take him out and he can finish 17th, and then you're done, right? So we won't go there, but we will take a -135 over Ross Chastain. so far this season, not bad for Chastain, right? 8th at Coda, 4th at Darlington, 5th at Nashville, but he was driving in the JRM car, that 9 car. This is not, he's driving the JRM car again, but at the same time, this is Dover. I just feel like this is going to bite him in the ass and kind of get him there, right? So Ross Chastain at Dover in the Xfinity Series, he did finish 3rd and 2nd in 2020 in both of those races, but he was in the 10 Kaulig car, which, by the way, the 10 Kaulig car back then had a little more clout to it than it does now, right? But before that, 2 top 10 finishes. Those are the only 2 in his 12 starts. His average finisher 14.8. He was in the 4 car in 2019, and then it was 13th, 12th, 13th, 16th, 12th, 21st, 12th, 20th, 37th, 16th. I mean, I know there are going to be teammates out there, but I do believe that Justin Allgaier still has the advantage in this, especially on this track, given his success. And I think he can finish better than Ross Chastain. And minus 135 is a huge number, but I'll still take it.
Yeah, minus 135 scares me just a bit because Chastain's been good here when he's been in good equipment. A lot of those results in bad cars. And he's been good here in the Cup Series. Best average finish in this next-gen era. Tied with Chase Elliott for that. That scares me. But at the same time, Justin Allgaier has been on fucking fire this season. He has been great. He's been good at this track as well. So hard to argue too much with that. I wish the number wasn't so big. It'd be a little easier to get behind it. But it's hard to go against Allgaier at this point in time.
Especially on this track. Like I said, if this was a guy who averages like a 7th or 8th place finish over the last several seasons, then I'm like, okay, well, maybe Chastain can have it. But no, this guy's jockeying for a top 2 finish, top 3 finish each and every week. You have to come with it if you're going to beat that.
Yeah, it's the top of this field is so loaded. We're going to talk more about that in a bit, but a lot of heavy hitters in this race.
By the way, if you have yet to join the Discord, this is a perfect example of how to do it. JDK, and I'm gonna premiere this on the actual show here on YouTube. This is the GIF or the picture that he's got up for Justin Allgaier dodging pianos, as we've referred to him as the Piano Man, along with his buddy Ty Majeski. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I think he sold all his pianos to the Penske IndyCar team, Rod, because they've had a season, but it's been a fairly, knock on wood. I don't want it to start now, but it's been a fairly piano-free season for Allgaier, minus the one time he ran over a lap car when he was killing the entire field. But shit happens,
Yes, it does. All right, Cody, where are we going next?
Next up for me, going back to old reliable Austin Hill, top 5, 2-1. Look, you love Austin Hill. You have to love Austin Hill. 3 starts here in the Xfinity Series, 15th last year, but he ran 6th and 1st in the stages, led 17 laps. He's kind of up front there. I don't remember what happened at the end, but got pushed back a little farther. 4th place finish in 2023. That is what you want to see from him. He was 14th in the first start here as well. But he has been on fire this season. 12th place last week at Sonoma, 4th at Chicago. He had a 3rd place finish at Bristol. Or rather, no, he didn't. Just kidding. He did not have a 3rd place. 24th at Bristol was a bad day. 3rd place was at Mexico City here recently, but 7th at Nashville, 7th at Charlotte, 4th at Texas. Of course, he won back at Talladega, 6th at Rockingham. He won at Martinsville. He won at Miami. He 4th place at Las Vegas. We've seen the speed all season long from Austin Hill. More of his results are in the single digits than they are in the bigger numbers. And this is a loaded field. You got Chastain, you got Almirola. They're probably going to hog some of those spots, but we know how that can go. A guy like Austin Hill just continually puts himself in position to be right there with those guys. Sometimes even challenges those guys, but if not, he should be right there behind them. You know that Austin Hill is going to have you in contention throughout the day to be a top 5 car at the end of the day. That's enough for me at 2-1.
That's another one of those drivers too. And again, in the Xfinity field, we know that, yes, long shot top 10s are possible. But when you look at the top 5, it just feels like it's the same drivers each and every week, right? Which is why it's so difficult sometimes to give you valid top 5s or valid top 3s, because it's just the same. It's the same 4 or 5 people almost every single week that kind of pop into the top 5. And so as we start to navigate this, you're right, Cody, trying to just look for the right number for these guys is the challenge. And that's where I came with this next guy, and that's Sheldon Creed, right? The former driver of the 2 car, the teammate of Austin Hill. We know that Sheldon Creed, no matter what kind of car he's driving, loves to come in second place. So I couldn't pull the trigger on a top 3 for Sheldon Creed, even though I know second place is his home, because of the way this field is shaped, right? I mean, we've got Justin Allgaier there. We've got Eric Almirola, who we're about to talk about. We've got Ross Chastain, who we just said has had good, solid top 3 finishes on this track as well. Already that makes me nervous that Sheldon Creed is going to get bounced back to a top 5 finish. And so that is why I'm going to take Sheldon Creed as a top 5 car. You're getting him about 2-1, right? Which is not, like I said, as super sexy as you want it to be, especially given the fact that Sheldon Creed so far this season has an average finish of 16.6. And that's really the tough part about it, is that 00 has found its way to 6 DNFs in 19 races. It's just tough because so many of those have not been his fault, right? He actually has gotten caught up in some of the stupidity, especially at Phoenix, right? Where we talk about this mile track. Well, Phoenix, a mile track. He started on the outside pole, but he only ran 64 laps before crashing out and finishing 36. But at Homestead, he finished in 5th. Martinsville, he finished at 2nd. Darlington, he finished in 10th. Nashville, he finished at 4th. Chicago was a 3rd place finish. I know that's a road course, but still a pretty solid top 3 finish there for Sheldon Creed. And then a 10th place finish at Sonoma. Hopefully this team is going to stay out of it, because at Dover, he does have a top 4 finish, does Sheldon Creed. In the 2024 season, he finished 4th in that 18 Joe Gibbs car. Outside of that, an 11th place finish in the 2 and an 8th place finish in 2022 in the 2 as well. But what makes me a little more confident about this is that he's led laps in the last 2 races. He led 41 laps in 2023 and then 3 in 2024, which means, guess what? You're up front. And at Dover, it actually means something because it's an oval, right? And you're not strategizing your way to 41 laps. You're actually running well overall to be there. So, like I said, Sheldon Creed, I wanted to take him as a top 3, but it was only like plus 320 for a top 3. So I figured I'd give myself a little bit more of a rope here and take the top 5 at 2-1.
Yeah, Sheldon Creed is such an interesting case always, Rod, because he's been super consistent lately. Doesn't get that win, but he's constantly fast and constantly running up front. We know that that's a good car. It's a loaded field. Only we got a lot of top 5s we're giving out because we don't have any other options to give out. So only so many of these guys are going to make it. But Creed's a guy that continues to put himself in position week in and week out.
He certainly does. All right. Well, then we will set up more of our favorite plays for this race. But before we do, let me tell you about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long. I mean, look, I know we're almost most of the way through summer, or are we? I don't know. Did we just start? I don't remember. Anyways, but it's happening all summer long. They're giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. No waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best Ball, quite possibly, is the best way to play fantasy football ever. Underdog is also a great place to play Pick'em. If you would like proof of that, I will tell you that if you open the app right now, you can find fantastic things across the board from just about any sport that you could possibly want. WNBA, there's racing stuff that happens, there's F1, there's all kinds of crazy stuff that you can do as well. I personally like the one that I gave you the other day, and we'll give you some more over the course of the week. Gave you some ones live from Sonoma too. That was a lot of fun as well. In the meantime, sign up with our promo code RACE-SGPN. You're going to claim that special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. That's underdogfantasy.com. Promo code RACE-SGPN. You've heard us talk about Rhythm before. They just dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends. It's essentially the best of the best of what their house model has to offer. Their AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high ROI. Think a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time and win probability hit a certain range. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. There's no doubts, no noise, just clean, data-driven backed bets. MLB Power Trends are 254 and 147 with a win rate of 63% and an ROI of 4.5% in their past 400 bets. WNBA power trends 35-20 since the launch, 63.64% win rate with a 20.7% ROI. Go download the Rhythm app, check out our power trends, and start betting smarter. You know that we are going to be as well. Looking over at the WNBA, trying to check out some today's power trends. How about Kelsey Mitchell, right? Of the so we got Kelsey Mitchell. If you look at hers, we're predicting 2.2 assists on the night. The current prop line is 2.5. Woo, Rhythm's telling you take the under, as they're giving you just a small edge here in taking the under on that one. So go get your 7-day free trial today. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. It's kind of data-driven backed stats you want, right? Just the slight edge to take the under.
Gotta love it, Ron.
Bingo. All right. Speaking of which, data-driven backed bets. Cody, save me.
Well, something that I do love this week, Rod, is one Ryan Truex. The Truex family, this is sort of one of their 16 home tracks, since they're all in the Northeast there. But this track always been good to the Truex family. They swept the weekend last year, Ryan winning on Saturday, and then Martin winning. But either way, they swept the weekend, which you love to see. It was great for them. No Martin to bet on this week, unfortunately, but we do have Ryan. Now, I'll remind you, he is in the Sam Hunt 24 car, not the 19 car. You look back through his starts, he started a couple of races in that car, but it's only been on super speedways, so it's hard to get a judge for what he can do in that equipment. You have to remember, as we go into talking about him here, that it is Sam Hunt equipment. Sometimes it does fail, but we've also seen guys like Corey Heim come up and run top 5 and run really good in that type of car. So I'm going to take that hope and that, ability we've seen in this equipment with what is a good driver in Ryan Truex. I'm going to put the top 5 together for plus 350. Truex has been amazing here at this track. He won last year, Rod, in 2024, driving for Joe Gibbs Racing. He won here in 2023, start driving for Joe Gibbs Racing. Ironically, started 12th in both races, so maybe you hope he starts 12th this year, but only led 2 laps last year, but still got the win. Led 124 laps back in 2023. His other starts here going back to 2018 was a 10th place in a Kaulig car. 2018, the other race was a 11th place in the Kaulig car. For RAB Racing, I don't know who that is, what they are, all the way back in 2012, but a 14th place run, so still a good run. Second for Joe Gibbs back in 2012. He ran for Travis Pastrana and Michael Waltrip Racing, Rod, back in the day. Oh, my goodness. But so he's had plenty of races here, and he's been really good, especially lately. Back-to-back wins the last 2 years. He obviously loves this track. With this bet, we don't need him to win. Just show up and have a strong, solid day. If he was in the 19 car, the odds wouldn't be of this number, unfortunately. But if he was in a Joe Gibbs Racing car, he 100% would be the guy to bet on, especially at this type of number. It is the 24 car, but I'm not overly concerned by that. If a mechanical issue happens or something, we'll take it. But if he goes out there and has just a good enough car, he can make all the difference that it takes to run extremely well here. He's been great throughout his career. It runs in the family being good here, and he has to carry on the torch as Martin's sitting on a boat somewhere. So give me Ryan Truex plus 350 for a top 10.
Yeah, and that's one of the things where the talent will take him, I think, farther than the equipment actually will too. And he knows, like you said, if you look at this, and I looked at it too, and I was like, I kind of left him for you, Cody. I stole the one that I'm about to talk about next, but I left Truex for you because I knew you're going to want to talk about him. And then when I finally saw the number come out, because that's a number that I actually thought was going to be nuked, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to. I'm just going to leave him there. And then Cody can pick him up if it's a good number on him. So I'm glad there is, because it's tough to not have him out there.
Since you stole this next bet from me, which I loved and was going to have in here, I appreciate you saving the Truex one for me. But yeah, it's 100% bet on his talent, because we know he's talented enough. We know he can do it. He's in a lesser car, so he's going to have to make up that difference. But I still think he's capable of doing that. And again, with this bet, he doesn't have to win the race. He just has to go run top 5, even if it is all guy around Morola, Chastain, those guys running away with this. I think he could be the next best car and score a top
Yeah,
five.
and it just, I mean, it tells you something when Truex's top 5 is longer than Creed's top 5, and that's, where we're at. So, although JC wants to know the over-under on Snickerdoodle cookies that he's consuming, set the line. If you're anything like me, JC, that's like 7.5.
Over. Snickerdoodle's got to be over. I don't know how big these cookies are, but Snickerdoodle's definitely a top 5 cookie, Rod. That's off-season content, top 5 cookie lists, but Snickerdoodle confirmed to be on.
And I will go ahead and just say that my top one is chocolate chip cookies. You can never beat a good chocolate chip cookie. So, all right. Speaking of never beating, how about Sam Mayer? Yeah, you could probably beat him, but I beat Cody to the dock in order to get him on this one. But Sam Mayer, I'm going to take him as a top 5 car at 2-1. Again, I'm having so much trouble putting people in the top 3, except for my next top 3, which is a long shot top 3. And I'm only going to do that just for the hell of it. But when you talk about the competition in the top 3 and the top 5, it's just so tough. But Sam Mayer is a guy that can get himself into the top 5, which he has done twice over the course of his career. In 2022, he finished 5th after starting 2nd in the one car. This is the one car too. Remember we were talking about how Sam Mayer driving the one car was always sort of that. It was Allgaier, and then it was all these guys, and then Sam Mayer was kind of the last one on the list. He was still piloting this car to a 5th place finish in 2022, 9th place in 2023. But I will say that in that race, he started 24th. So for him to be able to drive up to 9th place is quite impressive as well. And then last year in the one car, finishing out his career in JRM, or at least his time with JRM, with the 3rd place finish altogether. So he's been good on this track, right? 2 for 3 so far in finishing the top 5 in his career. So look at how he's done in that Haas factory. If I were to tell you at the beginning of the year that Sam Mayer would outpace Sheldon Creed in that Haas factory car, you would probably say to me, not so fast, but he has actually. In Phoenix, a 7th place finish. I know it's not a top 5, but I mean, he's still getting his legs underneath them in that Haas factory equipment. Not bad for a mile track over there. 7th place, 5th place in Las Vegas, 2nd at Homestead, 5th at Martinsville. Go to Texas where he got you a 5th place finish there. Nashville, he finished 3rd. And then in the last 3 races, he has got 3 of 4 top 10 finishes, granted 7th place at Pocono, 3rd place in Atlanta, 8th place at Chicago. Had a rough day at Sonoma, but I mean, that's a road course, so we can't really necessarily enjoy that all that much when we talk about it history. But Sam Mayer's actually been very solid in this Haas equipment. 10th place average finish overall, only 2 DNFs, 8.4 average start. So he's starting close to the top 5. I think he's going to finish close to the top 5. In fact, I think he's going to finish inside of the top 5. And at 2-1, I like those odds, Cody.
I like those odds too. Sam Mayer is such a good race car driver. I talk about him just about every single week. You stole this bet from me, but I found another way to get in on him. Don't worry. So more thoughts on him in a few, but full endorsement of this bet. I really do like it. I wanted to clarify. Ash said that I said top 10 on the Truex bet. Sorry, wishful thinking. Hey, BetRivers, if you're still listening, Xfinity Series top 10 bets. You want to drive a lot of traffic this weekend as you're the sponsor of the race. I mean, you'd be the only ones with Xfinity Series top 10s, and we would absolutely love it. So, unfortunately, just a top 5, but I still think that he can get it done. Somebody I'd love to bet a top 10 on, Rod. If you're listening to BetRivers, I'd love to bet a top 10 on Harrison Burton, but since we only have top 5 options for now, I'm going to take the top 5. It's 18-1. This makes it qualify as a long shot, Rod. I just like to point that out. But Harrison Burton, 18-1. I like the possibility of what Harrison Burton can do. We've seen this season. He's had a strong, solid season, right? He's running good every week, been competing for those top 10s. He's cashed a couple of top 10s for us already. Some okay runs kind of through the road course ringer here. 26th at Bristol earlier this spring. Boy, I would have liked to see something better. Did start 10th there, so had some speed in practice. But he's got good finishes at Texas with 6th. The Rockingham finished 3rd place. Las Vegas, 8th place. Some faster tracks that are going to be comparable somewhat to Dover. He's also, we didn't really, talk about the track as much today as we did yesterday. We kind of set it up yesterday and go on, carry the conversation on into today. But the Monster Mile, right? This track chews drivers up, chews cars up. A lot of young guys in this series and stuff. Harrison Burton, kind of a grizzled old veteran now. He doesn't look like it because he's like 20 still, but he's been around for a while. He's a veteran Cup guy even at this point, who's come back down. We've seen some speed in that car this year, and seen his ability to get it done. Ran pretty good here in his last couple of starts with Joe Gibbs Racing. Of course, he's not in that good of equipment, but 2 top 6 finishes in the last 3 races. So you like that, and you'll take it as well. It's 18-1. I'd feel much more comfortable with a top 10, obviously. I think that a top 10 would be much easier for him to accomplish. But I think if we get some craziness in this race, maybe we get some weird wrecks, guys have some problems, some penalties, all of a sudden, well, look at Harrison Burton. You can hear the broadcast already, right? Harrison Burton putting together a solid day. Here he comes, battling for a top 5 as we come down the stretch, right? That's when you got the 18-1 on him. So Harrison Burton, top 10 if you can get it, but we'll take the top 5.
BetRivers. Yeah, indeed. I like that as well. I mean, again, Harrison Burton, one of those guys that, like you said, the broadcast every once in a while says, oh, look, it's Harrison Burton. And then, unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't carry through. But, there's a lot of, hey, look, there's Harrison Burton. And even though we're like, we know, we've been talking about this all season long. We get it. But speaking of somebody that the broadcast absolutely loves to talk about, how about young Connor Zilic? This is one where I looked very hard at the top 5 and said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to take a top 3 on Connor Zilic. Cannot deny this man's talent. Plus 275 over on ESPN is where you're getting this. Now, Connor himself said in his press conference after his win in Xfinity, he would love to see more road courses. And why wouldn't you? When you finish second at Chicago and then win at Sonoma and then you win at Coda, yeah, you're going to want a lot more. That 5th place finish at Mexico City, top 5. It's a nice solid top 5, but he was on the pole for that one. But here's the thing about Connor Zilic. Kid's about to figure out these ovals really fast, right? And I say that because if you look at the last few ovals for Connor Zilic, right? 2nd at Charlotte, 2nd at Nashville. He won at Pocono. Yeah, I know it's a triangle, not an oval, but it's a track where there is no right turns. It's just literally all the left ones. And he wins at Pocono, right? The learning curve for Connor Zilic has become a learning. What's the opposite of a learning? Not straight line, because that means it's too tough. But whatever makes it easier, that's exactly what Connor Zilic is experiencing right now. When in the Matrix, when the bullets just slow down and Neo just kind of does that. That's ovals for Connor Zilic now. He's seeing everything slower. He's watching these cars just sort of crawl by him as he slides through. And for me, I'm much more comfortable taking a top 3 on him because, one, he's in the equipment that his buddy Allgaier is in. He's in the equipment that Chastain is in. And nothing scares him. Like, he's not scared of Cup drivers. He's not scared of SVG. He's not scared of his teammates. Like, he's not scared. And that is a dangerous thing for a talented driver like Connor Zilic. And I think that a top 3 for him is possibly the ceiling. I don't want to say
ceiling on this kid, Rod.
True.
He's come. I mean, think of the high he's riding right now. He's coming off of beating SVG, and did SVG race him a little lighter because he's a teammate? Maybe, sure, fine, but he still did the right things. He didn't make the mistakes to beat him, something Cup guys couldn't do on Sunday, this week, or last week, or Mexico City. Like, he's the guy who stood up to him and was able to beat him. So give him props for that. He, of course, got the win at Pocono a couple of weeks ago, so he can do it on both sets of things. He's kind of lighting the world on fire right now. So hard to argue too much with him. And TK saying upward climb. Maybe that's a phrase you were looking for.
Now, because upward climb means means it's hard, right?
More just like he's arrived, Rod.
How about a downward slope now?
And you can get his top 3 at plus 450 over on Bovada.
Oh,
of course, if you have that option, they do seem to have some pretty good numbers. Usually, all right, Rod, when it comes to the outright market, honestly, I think you can make an extremely strong case for Justin Allgaier. I think you can make an extremely strong case for Ross Chastain. I think you can make an extremely strong case for Eric Almirola. They are the 3 favorites in this race and the 3 that should stand out above everybody else. I think you pick your poison between any of the 3 of them and roll with that. I'm not picking one. I'm going to just go down and go grab a couple longer shot guys that I like, go a little lighter in the outright market. But I do like the one you picked. You did pick one of the 3, and I will completely agree with you there. So bet the guy Rod's going to tell you to bet, and then take some smaller insurance plays like we've done the last couple of weeks. They've not cashed, but you have them just in case, because if that Xfinity race goes into overtime and shit gets crazy last week at Sonoma, right? We about saw that where it could have got really crazy at the end there, and maybe one of these insurance plays pays off. But to your Sam Mayer point earlier, 12-1 to win this race. I'm going to jump in on him. He has been strong here in the past. He's been strong here this season. Of course, there's 3 starts before with JRM, but it seems like the Haas equipment is still sticking with it. Obviously, we saw it be good equipment the last couple of years as well, so not too worried about that. 3rd place here last season in the number 1 car, had a 9th place and a 5th place finish in his other 2 starts. So good, solid runs, keeping himself in the mix. Go back and you look at what has he done for me lately. 17th last week, fine, but 8th at Chicago, 3rd at Atlanta, 7th at Pocono, 3rd at Nashville, 5th at Texas. He's had some pretty strong runs. 2nd place back at Miami, 5th place at Las Vegas. Bristol, Darlington, not the best of days. You'd hope for a little bit something better. Those are sort of comp tracks to this, but some of the other high-speed tracks, like I mentioned, Miami, high-speed tire wear, Las Vegas, high-speed tire wear, good, solid finishes there. I think that Sam Mayer is just one of those guys. He's starting to become a bit of a veteran, right? He's been around quite a few seasons now. We've gotten a lot of experience out of him. He's a guy who can hang around and have a shot at the end of this. I like him at 12-1. And then Rod, some places he's only 20-1. But if you go over to Caesars, you can get Ryan Truex at 40-1. Do not wait. This number will not remain there. It will disappear really quickly. He should not be 40-1. I know that he's not in the Joe Gibbs racing car this year, but he's won this race 2 years in a row. And if that car has just enough in it, the driver can make the difference. And again, it's very loaded at the top, right? But let's say a piano falls and hits Justin Allgaier. We've seen that time and time again. Well, Eric Almirola, Joe Gibbs Racing, the Xfinity cars, we've had some issues the last couple of weeks with some mechanical stuff that we've seen, right? Maybe Almirola has an issue. Maybe Ross Chastain gets busted for speeding. Suddenly, it's wide open, and here comes Ryan Truex through, 40-1. This is a long enough shot for a guy that's won here the last 2 years in a row, granted in much better equipment. That's why he's 40-1, but he's still worth the bet at this number.
Yeah, 40-1 is fantastic for a guy that's won back-to-back races here and could possibly do it again, because like you said, all he's got to do is just hang with everybody, outdrive his equipment, which is something Ryan Truex can do. So I like that. And then to your point about Haas, look, when they were Stuart Haas, they won 2 races on this track. Cole Custer won in 2019, and then Chase Briscoe won in 2020. Cole Custer, just a fantastic average finish of 5.5 on this track for the 00 and that Haas equipment. So yeah, this is definitely good equipment. And like I said, Mayer, I think, is definitely good enough for a top 5. And if he's good enough for a top 5, shenanigans happen at the front, and all of a sudden he's winning this race. I like that as well. Speaking of shenanigans, how about Eric Almirola? You talked about the driver of the 19 Joe Gibbs equipment. Well, that is Eric Almirola this week. And guess what? BetRivers, the sponsoring partner of this race, has him at 5-1. So if you have access to BetRivers, go get him at 5-1. Pretty much everywhere else has him at 4-1. Still not a bad number, but if you want that extra dollar out there, go to BetRivers and get Eric Almirola at 5-1. On this track, look, it hasn't necessarily been all that fantastic for Eric Almirola. He's got an average finish share of 12th. He's only got 4 career starts in the Xfinity Series, 11th, 9th, 15th, and 13th. But none of those were in the 19 Joe Gibbs equipment. In the Joe Gibbs equipment this year, in the 19 car, the finishes are as follows for Eric Almirola. 3rd place in Atlanta. He won at Phoenix, which, by the way, is a mile track, right? 2nd place at Las Vegas, 13th at Martinsville, 33rd at Talladega, Super Speedway. It happens. 6th at Nashville, 7th at Atlanta. He has been fast. He has dominated. And look, Eric Almirola, when you put him back in the 19 equipment, he just definitely knows that he is in the equipment to beat, to be honest with you, each and every week. And that's why he continues to do it. So you're telling me you're putting him in the 19, which, by the way, has won the last 2 races on this track. I know the driver isn't the same, but the talent level is probably, you can argue, better in this instance. Yeah.
Better.
So, give me the car that won this the last 2 years with a much better driver. 5-1, that's still a damn good price. Even 4-1 is still a damn good price for that.
Yeah, and you can get that 5-1 on MGM too. If that's one of the options you have. So there are some options out there, 5-1. He's kind of the three, right? Him, Chastain, and Allgaier, the longer shot of the three. So you already like that when you're splitting hairs with the three. But Almirola, he don't fuck around. Like, he comes down these races, he shows up and does pretty good in a really fast car. It's the car that's won the last 2 years. You like to see that. And experience. Talk about experience, right? He's been on this track tons and tons of times, and done it with the Cup guys. So yeah, I love the Almirola play here as well.
I was going. I mean, again, Allgaier is such a tempting each and every time, but he's only won twice in 24 starts. That's not a very good. That's 8% of the races that he's won, and the last time he did it was in 2020. So it's been a while since he's won on this track.
He's been so good this season, though, and even against Cup guys. So that's the part where it's like, it makes you want to take him, but the number's low, especially for as talented as the field is. You definitely, like I said, like, if you want to bet on either three, if you're convicted on any of them, Chastain, Allgaier, or Almirola, bet them. I think they're all good bets. Obviously, you can't take all three of them, and I think Almirola is a good way to.
I agree. All right, well then, get out your pen and paper. It is time to go over our bets for this BetRivers 200 from the Dover Motor Speedway in Dover, Delaware. And then, of course, if you're on YouTube, make sure you take the screenshot while we put the graphic up for you as well. I started you out with Justin Allgaier over Ross Chastain at -135. And then I gave you Sheldon Creed as a top 5 car at 2-1. I then gave you Sam Mayer as a top 5 car at 2-1 as well. Connor Zilich, the young man with talent, top 3 plus 275 for a top 3 finish. And then Eric Almirola to win the race at 5-1 or 4-1, depending on where you're at. Cody gave you Taylor Gray, love us some shifties, over Christian Eckes at -125. He gave you Austin Hill as a top 5 car at 2-1. Ryan Truex as a top 5 car at +250. Harrison Burton, top 5 at 18-1. And then Mayer at 12-1 and Truex at 40-1 to win this race. Right, Cody, there it is. We are well and truly finished with the Xfinity Series bets. But, yeah, pretty excited to get back to an oval. I love road courses. I really do. I'm not saying I don't love them, but there's something to be said about a nice, quiet oval again.
Yeah, and we had some really good battles the last couple of weeks. Chicago and Sonoma with Zilich and SVG. It was fun to watch. Xfinity Series always delivers, but back to a true traditional oval one that's been on the NASCAR schedule since 1969.
Nice.
Thank you. And yeah, it's a great track that's been around a long time, going to produce a lot of good action, and it's a loaded field, which is going to make it exciting as well.
It will indeed. So, all right, well then that'll do it for the Xfinity Series portion of this. Come back tomorrow for our DFS plays. I think we'll do it again. Possibly. It depends on if Underdog is ready for us, but if not, then we will go both DFS for Xfinity and for Cup. But yeah, that'll be the show tomorrow, maybe a little bit later. So keep an eye out on the YouTube. And that's a good reminder to subscribe so you get those notifications when we go live.
Yeah, you click the bell and it'll just tell you when we're live, which is nice. Ash tossing out Truex 66-1 over on Bovada. And I will DM you back here after the show, Ash. Hopefully get that figured out, get you over into the Discord. For everybody else, join the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Love to see you over there. Keep the conversation going. Those guys stay very busy in that channel, which is great. We absolutely love it. You can follow me, Rod, over on the X at Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff over there. Tons and tons of it. Lots of NFL content coming out as we 50 days away from NFL kickoff. Let's fucking go. So excited. Who's counting? But yeah, see you guys tomorrow for the DFS episode. And yeah, best of luck in Xfinity this week.
Follow me on Twitter at RJ_Villagomez. Link in the bio, everything I got going on, whether it is here, whether it is in between media. Tomorrow, me, Seth, and Elliot will be talking about this upcoming Dover race. And I'll go a little more little deeper into my experience at Sonoma. You can tell this is the end of the episode. Also, there's a couple of links over there coming up soon, some rugby stuff and all that other good stuff. Make sure you're following me there on Twitter. All right, love you guys. See you tomorrow for the DFS episode. And until then, let's go racing and let it ride.